Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 1, chapter number 17, entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali, text number 12. Ko vrishcha tava padam strin saurabheya chatushpada ma bhuvam stvadrisha rashtre Rajnam Krishnaanuvartinam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravinda, Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. He, Maharaj Parikshit, repeatedly addressed and questioned the bull thus: O son of Surabhi, who has cut off your 3 legs? In the state of the kings who are obedient to the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, there is no one as unhappy as you. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The kings or the executive heads of all states must know the codes of Lord Krishna, generally Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and must act accordingly in order to fulfill the mission of human life, which is to make an end to all miseries of material conditions. One who knows the codes of Lord Krishna can achieve this end without any difficulty. In the Bhagavad Gita, in a synopsis, we can understand the codes of Godhead, and in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the same codes are explained further. In a state where the codes of Krishna are followed, no one is unhappy. Where such codes are not followed, the first sign is that 3 legs of the representative of religion are cut off, and thereby all miseries follow. When Krishna was personally present, the codes of Krishna were being followed without question. But in his absence, such codes are presented in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam for the guidance of the blind persons who happen to be at the helm of all affairs. Listens to the Bhaktivedanta purport. Hare Krishna. Recently, just around 4 days ago, India and China were again in news. For what was the reason? Population. Yes. India has grown beyond China in terms of population. So then one of the media persons wanted to take a bite from the Chinese foreign minister. So he goes and asks, what do you say about it? That India's population is more than China. So then immediately the foreign minister says that it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So according to his understanding, the quality of life in China is much higher than that of India, and so it really doesn't matter if quantity is less, is what his proposal was. So when I heard this statement, probably I think couple of years back or few months back, I came across an article. This was in 1958. Okay, that was the time when Mao Zedong, the great chairman Mao of China, who was the president of the People's Republic of China, had declared a war, a different type of a war, a peaceful war apparently, war against 4 things. There are 4 pests. Okay? What are they? Mosquitoes, flies, rats, and sparrows. Strangely, he included even sparrows as part of pests. And he said that, there is going to be a war against this. He mobilized entire Chinese population against these four enemies in a very determined manner. Somebody told Mao that, the sparrows eat away the grains. Whatever hard labor his citizens of China had put in to cultivate lush green fields, the sparrows come and eat away at the right stage of ripened grains. Angered by the statement, Mao declares a war against the sparrows also. Okay? And it became, then the next 1 year, they made so many attempts to drive away the sparrows, kill all the sparrows across the Chinese country. And it became a great success. So then, unfortunately, within the next few months, a great famine took place. A great famine took place wherein more than 45 million people died. More than what Hitler had killed people in World War II. In the World War II, Hitler had killed 17 million people. Mao had killed unknowingly with his policies 45 million people. What happened? How killing of sparrows has anything to do with a famine? If sparrows are killed, what will happen? There will be so many pests, locusts. They'll come and eat away whatever is grown. Right? It is considered a classic case of ecological disaster without knowing how nature works. Done by a person who had all kinds of right intention, quote unquote, to protect the citizens. But unfortunately, because of his kind of a scarcity mentality, wherein he thought that China has a lot of overpopulation. How can it leave even a few grains which can be eaten by sparrow? And thus they went ahead and tried to kill the sparrows. But instead what happened? Famine. 45 million people died. What is Bangalore's population? Around 10 million they say. Or a crore, right? Imagine 4 cities of Bangalore size, people dying. Out of wrong policies. Here the word used is Krishnaanuvartinam. The kings, those who follow the codes of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the kings, if they follow the orders of the Supreme Lord, there is a different type of mentality would be coming in. So I just read 2 quotes from Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 5th chapter, 5th text. Actually, the material world is created for the illusory enjoyment of the conditioned souls who have been against the transcendental service of the Lord since time immemorial. But the material universes are full in themselves. There is no scarcity for maintenance in the material world. Because of their poor fund of knowledge, the materialists are disturbed when there is an apparent increase of population on the earth. Whenever there is a living being on the earth, however, his subsistence is immediately arranged by the Lord. Immediately, whenever a person is born, whether it is a human or otherwise, his maintenance is already arranged by the Lord. The other species of living entities who far outnumber human society are never disturbed for maintenance. They are never seen dying of starvation. It is only human society that is disturbed about the food situation and to cover up the real fact of administrative mismanagement. Okay? Takes shelter in the plea that the population is excessively increasing. If there is any scarcity in the world, it is the scarcity of God consciousness. Otherwise, by the grace of the Lord, there is no scarcity of anything. So actually, in the other living species, okay, be it the society of flies, society of mosquitoes, or any kind of society of animals, there is no scarcity problem, there is no starvation problem. Okay, only humans who are so intelligent, okay, who are superly intelligent people, humans, only in their society we have famine, self-inflicted famines because of administrative mismanagement by so-called intelligent leaders. Okay, I read further. The modern theory of dialectical communism set forth by Karl Marx and followed by communist governments is not perfect. According to Vedic communism, no one in the state should ever starve. See, there is something called as Vedic communism. Prabhupada quotes a spiritual communism or a Vedic communism, which is neither capitalistic nor communistic. It is a Vedic communism. According to Vedic communism, no one in the state should ever starve. Presently, there are many bogus institutions which are collecting funds from the public for the purpose of giving food to starving people, but these funds are invariably misused. According to the Vedic instructions, the government should arrange things in such a way that there will be no question of starvation. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that a householder must see to it that even a lizard or a snake does not starve. See how a value system, Vedic value system, is so ingrained that even if a snake which is coming to harm us, a grihastha is supposed to feed that snake also. See, nobody should be allowed to starve. They also must be given food. In actuality, however, there is no question of starvation because everything is the property of the Supreme Lord. This is the right mentality, Ishavasya mentality. You know, what is that? Everything is the property of the Supreme Lord, and He sees to it that there is ample arrangement for feeding everyone. In the Vedas, in the Kathopanishad 2.2.13, it is said, Eko bahunam yo vidati kaman. The Supreme Lord supplies the necessities of life to everyone, and there is no question of starvation. If anyone starves, it is due to the mismanagement of the so-called ruler, governor, or president. So the real issue here is that it is not that population is becoming overpopulation and thus there is so much of anxiety how to manage this population. There is nothing like that. Prabhupada went around the world 50 years ago, and even he spoke very boldly in Geneva, in where all these United Nations organizations exist, many offices exist. He spoke boldly that across the world there is enough land to grow, wherein more than 10 times of the current population can be fed. But unfortunately, even countries like America, where they are so educated, how do they manage the prices? If there is an excess supply of grains, they should have given to the poor countries, no. Go and dump in the sea. So that what will happen? Price will be maintained. See why this is all happening? Again, because of paper currency, inflation, and all of those things. How the entire system is wrongly designed. And Prabhupada says the simple solution to all of these things is that why are you having this customs, visa, and all of those things and all. Okay, in some places there may be excess population, in some places there may be underpopulation. Allow people to move freely. Okay, so persons who are having scarcity mentality, those who are not having real abundance mentality, will not be able to appreciate these statements. So let us understand from the Vedic perspective how a king and how a citizen should be actually. So this was around some few thousand years ago. There was a great devotee of Lord. He was always so satisfied in his life. Okay, He was a Brahmana, not the so-called Brahmana of the current day who was having millions of dollars. I am talking about a Brahmana who was a devotee, who is thoroughly learned and also thoroughly practicing the learnings. Okay? He was so satisfied. He was always aware that the happiness and distress will come on its own accord. Okay? There is a statement in the Srimad Bhagavatam around few chapters back. We have read that statement, right? Wherein, Narada Muni says that Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovidaha tallabhyate yad brahmatam uparyataha tallabhyate tukkavat anyata sukam kalena sarvatra kabira ramhasa. So what is this verse is talking about? The verse is saying Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovidaha. So there are intelligent, philosophically inclined people are there. Okay? So they are really intelligent. Not the current day so-called intelligent leaders. They are actually really intelligent people who are philosophically inclined people. So what they should do or what they should not do is what Narada is actually saying. He is saying, Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovidaha nalabhyate yad brahmatam uparyataha. They should target, they should aim for something which is not obtainable within this three worlds. Very greedy goal, huh? So they are saying that, something which is obtainable in this world. Normally, some businessman or a greedy man, he'll think that, okay, he will own so many yachts or so many counties or probably a big nation like that. But now Narada is saying, if you are really intelligent and philosophically inclined, don't think about achieving something which is achievable within these three worlds. Okay, which is achievable, not, what is that? Nalabhyate yad brahmatam uparyadaha. From the Brahmaloka to the Patala-loka. Something which is not achievable in this, you have to target for that, going for that. Why? Tallabhyate dukkavad anyata sukam. Anyway, in ordinary course of time, some dukkha will come or some kind of happiness also will come. Don't worry about these things. Okay? It will come on its own way. Okay? And kalena sarvatra kabir ramsaha. All of these things are anyway going to get lapsed in the course of time. Right? Something very good, happiness, that also will not stay, sir, for long. Okay, how about some kind of a distress? That also will not stay. That also has to go. All things must pass. George Harrison had sung a very nice song. All things must pass. Right? So everything must pass. So why are you wasting your time in all of these things which are anyway going to pass? Right? So this devotee was thoroughly convinced about that, there is these impermanent things which happen in front of our eyes, so-called happiness or so-called distress and all. So he was not bothered. He was so totally happy. And he, even though he was apparently impoverished, okay, niggardly dressed, okay, he was thoroughly satisfied. Okay. Imagine a left intellectual with a TV camera goes in front of this devotee. Anyway, it's not possible to do so 5,000 years back, but any which way. Assume he does that. He'll ask him, sir, do you have television at your home? No. Do you have a car at home? No. How about your home? You have a good home? No, I live in a cottage. How can you be happy? How can you be peaceful? No, I am really peaceful. No, I cannot believe it. No, I am actually satisfied. No, I cannot believe it. Okay? And he'll stamp that person as unhappy. And then he will create an index saying that, okay, in this country, there are a lot of people who are unhappy because they are not having A, B, C, D, F, G things. Okay? and thus stamps that country as unhappy in a list of index of countries which are really happy. Okay, really happy. Now which one? Happiest country is Netherlands. Okay, so that's the bastion of left intellectual thinking in those countries. Okay, Scandinavian countries. So, unfortunately, we have those kind of left intellectuals and such kind of thinking going on now. So 5,000 years back, there was no such kind of people. But anyway, so this devotee was very, very happy, very nicely satisfied in his own situation. So one day, his wife will ask him, I know you are very satisfied, but seeing you very meagerly dressed, very poverty stricken, I am feeling something to ask you in a humble requesting manner, not in a fighting way. Okay, she asks him, you have a very good friend, okay, who is your batchmate. Okay, he is very rich. Why don't you just go and ask him little bit? He may not mind to share a little bit of his wealth. Okay, why don't you just go and meet him? I know everybody is smiling already, whom I am talking about, right? So it was Sudama, right? So Sudama will be thinking, yeah, it's a good idea to meet my friend, but I really don't need anything. It's been many, many years or decades ever since I met my friend. Okay, we all graduated from the same school and then went away into our own different things. Okay, so he thinks that it's a good idea to meet, but nonetheless, he is not really thinking about asking something from Krishna. So then he asks his wife that, do one thing, can you just bring something, I'm meeting my friend after a long time, I should actually give him something. And in fact, why Sudama thinks like that is, she says that Krishna has finished all his external work. He's only in Dwaraka. He's not having any outside business. So it's the right time to go and meet him. Like that she will tell. And thus she induces Sudama to go. So now Sudama asks his wife, why don't you get something? But house is empty, So then she goes in the neighborhood and begs 4 palms of chipped rice. Okay, and she will fold it in a nice small cloth and then gives it to him. Okay, and Sudama starts going towards Dwaraka. While going towards Dwaraka, he was so happy in anticipation of meeting Krishna. Okay, he was blissfully thinking that, I'm going to meet my friend Krishna after a long time. Okay, just the mere fact of thinking about him made him so blissful. Okay, so he was going like that, not like current day, you can buy a ticket and immediately land in Dwaraka. So he has to walk down, and he didn't have enough money to go by horse chariot also, right? So he was taking the slowest, snailest possible way to walk down to Dwaraka. And while doing that, he was very happily reminiscing all his past deeds and activities with Krishna. So slowly and surely he has reached the gates of Dwaraka. So as soon as he reaches the gates of Dwaraka, he sees there are 3 huge military establishments. Okay, obviously to guard the Dwaraka city, the city where all the riches are there, right? It's a great metropolis, so a lot of riches were there. So 3 military establishments were guarding the state of Dwaraka. But seeing that great vibration coming out, jubilant vibration coming out from this great Brahmana called the Sudam Vipra, in those days, not unlike today, they don't need an ID card, passport, nothing is required. Okay, they were able to see, face is the index of mind. Okay, they were able to see, and they have automatically allowed this Brahmana to go inside. So Sudama Vipra was so blissful, he was going in, and even the guards of the palace where Krishna is living with Rukmini did not stop him. So he started walking inside. So Krishna was in the Antahpura, interior quarters of the palace of Rukmini. Okay, he was sitting on the bed and Rukmini was fanning him. Okay, immediately seeing that his old friend had come. Okay, immediately Krishna raises and goes and then hugs him. Okay, all the other people in the palace thinks, who is this person who is so niggardly dressed? And Krishna goes and embraces him. Okay, not only that, now Krishna brings this Sudama Vipra and makes him sit on his bedstead. They'll be more surprised, who is this person? And not only that, what Krishna does, he starts, giving all kind of auspicious paraphernalia. We are hearing right now, some homa is happening, some arati is happening to the lordships. What we do when we do arati to the lordships, we offer incense stick, we offer lamp, we offer water, we offer handkerchief, we offer flowers and things like that, right? So in the Vedic tradition, all these kind of auspicious things, 16 auspicious things, are offered to a person who is coming newly into a home, right? A guest has to be honored. So Krishna has honored Sudama Vipra in a very auspicious way. And after doing that, now who started fanning Sudama? Rukmini ji started fanning Sudama. Okay, all the members of the palace were so surprised. Who is this person? Such a great Brahmana. Okay, they are also seeing that he is so jubilantly faced Brahmana. So then both of them start reminiscing. It happens, right? If you go and meet a person some 20 years back, our old friend, we start talking, how were our school days and college days and things like that, right? So similarly, Krishna and Sudama started reminiscing their old days. So when did Krishna go to his school? I know, his school was in Sandipa Muni was his Gurukula. Okay. So Krishna goes at what age? At what age he leaves Vrindavan? Everybody told all years. So at the age of 7 he lifts Govardhan. At the age of 8 Ras Leela happens, and the next year, Krishna leaves along with Akrura to Mathura. And he kills Kamsa. And after killing Kamsa, we don't know exact year, after some time, he would be sent by his parents, Devaki and Vasudeva, noticing that Krishna and Balaram are not educated. They are not educated. They are village boys. They have to be formally educated. So the parents will think, okay, let me send them to Gurukula. Now he is the son of a king, right? He has to be properly taught. Okay? So they will be sent to, Krishna and Balaram will be sent to Sandipani Muni's ashram in Ujjain. Right? So then at the same time, Sudama Vipra also joins the same school. So both were batchmates, school friends. So unlike the modern day education system where you have to shell out some millions of dollars, if not millions of rupees, okay? So in those days, gurus did not accept any rupee also, okay? In those days, education was free, medical also was free, right? All the herbs were available on the road or in the house of a Ayurvedic physician, and Ayurvedic physician cannot even take a rupee. If he takes, his advice is considered to be, could be corrupted. So he cannot take even a rupee. So in the Vedic system, education is free, medical is free, even food is also free. We have read, right? A Grihastha is having a responsibility to not allow even a lizard or a snake to be starved. So even food is also free. It's a different construct you can see, right? A spiritual communism, right? So now we see that Krishna and Balaram and Sudama had come to a Gurukula. So now how do I pay to Guru now? Guru is giving a lot of knowledge. How do I repay Guru? It is very difficult to repay Guru, right? So because he is not going to accept, the currency is different. So what is the currency here? That Guru Shushruta means one has to serve the Guru. One has to serve the Guru. So now, how do we serve the Guru? The Guru is now going to perform some homa, some yajna. Okay, so for homa and yajna, what you need? You need some sticks. We need wood. Okay, so Krishna and Sudama Vipra, they go into the forest. How old they will be? Hardly young boys. Krishna has finished his education in how many days? 64 days. 64 days, 64 hours, he finished learning so fast, right? So Krishna and Sudama were there for 64 days, that's all. Okay, but that's all, living with Supreme Personality of Godhead for 64 days, right? So any which way, one day, so Krishna and Sudama Vipra go inside the forest to cut the, bamboos or whatever sticks and get back to the Guru's ashrama. So but when they go inside, they lost the path. Nowadays we can call on mobile, but that's not possible in those days. Maybe there also mobile network will not work, I guess. Okay, so they were lost like that deep in the dense forest. Okay, and in the meanwhile, huge black clouds came with thunderstorm and in a dust storm. And further they were trying to come out, they lost the path further and it started raining heavily. And when it starts raining heavily in the forest, what happens? Everywhere water will be there and you cannot distinguish between a path where, there is no, grass or something like that, which is a pathway to walkway. You cannot distinguish between a pathway and a regular, forest, this thing. And they got completely lost. And whole night it was raining. And when it rains, what happens? It becomes very cold. And they started shivering. It was very painful for them. Both young boys. There's no shelter. Okay? They were suffering like that. So the next day morning, news reached Sandipani Muni that, the two boys, Krishna and Sudama, were lost in the forest. They didn't come back. Unlike the current day system where there is no deep relationship between the teacher and the thought, immediately Sandip Muni sends all his disciples to search where is Krishna and Sudama, and personally he also goes out in search. And finally they identify where this Sudama and Krishna were there, and the Guru was so happy to see these two boys again. So much so he was so happy, he blesses them saying that you have taken so much trouble for me. You have taken so much of personal difficulty for my sake. I bless you saying that all the Vedic knowledge, whatever I had taught you, always will be in your mind. Like that he will bless. Okay. So now Sudama Vipra and Krishna are talking and reminiscing these old things. Okay, Sudama says, Krishna, you are Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. Okay. Do you need this blessing from your Guru? You don't need this blessing from your Guru. But still, Krishna, just to show to the people at large that there is a need for a teacher. Krishna had enacted this pastime. Krishna does not need anybody to teach him, but just to show the importance of receiving knowledge properly through a teacher. Is it true? Why? Why the knowledge has to come properly through a teacher? Today is the days of ChatGPT. I can ask anything. Okay, if I want to make one program, okay, I can ask. It'll give a code and it will get executed. Okay, if I want to put up one play, okay, it will create scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. Everything it does. It suggests titles. Everything is there. So what is wrong? Why should I accept a teacher? Information should be uncorrupted. Very nice. As soon as ChatGPT came, what happened? What did China do? Immediately it said, it is going to see whether there is any bias against their ideology, their communistic ideology. So it means the ChatGPT can wash our brains, right? It can brainwash us, right? So intelligence should be properly guided and given in such a way that what happens? What did Prabhupada say here? One has to fulfill one mission of human life, which is to make an end to all miseries of material conditions. Right? Not that increase the want. If we increase the want unnecessarily, what happens? What happens? Greed will take over, and sensual attraction makes one to fight against each other for the limited resources. Resources are there for everybody's need, but not everybody's greed. Right? So, again, coming back, so thus there is a need for actually a guru, a spiritual master. So Krishna has established this. So they were conversing like this. So then Krishna asks, hey, I met you after a long time. Did you bring any gift for me? So Sudama will be thinking, what I can give to Krishna? Ka Krishna Sriniketanaha. He is the husband of goddess of fortune. Who am I? I am a Daridra. I am a poverty-stricken person. Okay, what I can give to Krishna? Like that he was thinking. No, but again Krishna started insisting. No, tell me what you have brought for me. I am sure you would have brought something for me. And Sudama was silent and just he has bent his head. Okay, so then Krishna is Paramatma. He knows what is there in everybody's heart. And then what he does? He snatches the cloth bag which is there with Sudama. Oh, you have bought such a nice, wonderful chipped rice to me. Okay. And then he takes one morsel and he starts consuming. He says, so beautiful, so tasty is this chipped rice that entire universe is being satisfied. Krishna says, Yasmin tushte jagat tushta. If Krishna is satisfied, entire universe is satisfied. Right? So now he takes another hand morsel. Immediately, who stops? Rukmini stops him, saying that you have already been so satisfied, I have to repay this and go to his home, Sudama's home. Okay. Now if you take one more, I will be away from you. Problem, no. Rukmini will be away from Krishna. Just because Krishna is satisfied, people want to worship Lakshmi. But Lakshmi ji is saying here that if you are able to satisfy Krishna, the Supreme Lord, her husband Narayana, okay, even what by what? What did Krishna took here? He did not take the chipped rice. He took the love and affection of Sudama. Right? Just that love and affection is what he is actually looking for. So anyway, Krishna stopped. He took the one handful. Sudama was not expecting anything beyond this, any which way. Right? He was so happy, so blissful that Krishna had taken his small offering of chipped rice. So that day night he had spent in Dwaraka. He slept in the palace. He was totally blissful. It was actually Vaikuntha atmosphere. An atmosphere of lack of anxiety. Okay? So he didn't bother to ask Krishna about what he has come for. So because anyway he is satisfied. So then he he starts the next day to go back to his home. While going back also, he was so blissful. He was thinking, Ka Krishna, Sri Niketanaha, and I am a Daridra. Okay. And he allowed me to sit on his own bed. And he allowed me to be worshipped. I mean, he made and he worshipped me. And he also allowed his wife, Rukmini, the goddess of fortune, to worship me. Like that he was kept on thinking, and then reaches his home. He suddenly sees that his home is not there. There is no cottage. Okay. Suddenly he sees a huge palace. He is wondering maybe something has happened. Okay, it's not his address, wrong address. आजकल GPS वो ऐसा नहीं है उस समय. Maybe it's the wrong address. He came to a place. But instead, he sees that, his wife was being brought in front by some apsaras and the kinnaras, or such kind of, wonderful denizens of the heavenly planets. He was surprised to see that. And he sees that his wife, he couldn't recognize his wife immediately. She got totally transformed. Then he starts thinking, what happened? In my entire life, I did not earn enough to build this palace. How it happened? Then he realizes that Krishna, how inspiring personality is Krishna, right? He has just given him chipped rice. Just given him chipped rice. But Krishna has repaid him so much that he felt a lot of gratitude. Just for a while, let us set aside the idea that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, which we all thoroughly believe. Let us think like the way modern atheistic people think. See the relationship of a citizen and the king. Right? See the relationship of a citizen and the king. The king was thinking about something which even the citizen did not ask. Okay? He is seeing the essence of the person's request and repaying him in a wonderful way. Right? How great. And the citizen is also thinking that I am not due whatever benefit I got from the king. And he was so happy. Right? So that's a wonderful relationship of a citizen and the king which existed in those days. So, like the way the king and the citizen existed of that time, so we can also see how Krishna actually sees for the essence. The essence is love and affection. So yet another story is there which comes in the pastimes of Lord Srinivasa Govinda. Okay? So there is a king named Tondaman Chakravarti, a wonderful devotee of Lord who gets even the Shankha and Chakra to, kill away the demons. Okay? So this devoted king was so devoted, even he is able to talk to the deity, Srinivasa Govinda. Okay? Every day, he used to worship him with 108 new gold flowers every day. He was so devoted to the Lord. So suddenly one day one thought came to him. Is there any other king like me who is so devoted to Lord that every day a new set of gold flowers are being offered? Some thought just came to him in his mind. Okay, but of course, as a devotee, he tried to set aside that idea of being independent from the Lord. So then, the next day, he goes to the Lord and start worshipping the Lord. To his utter surprise, his gold flowers become flowers made out of mud. He was surprised. What happened? Maybe Lord is not happy with my thinking. And he starts fasting over there. So he will be worried. how could I think like this? How I become so proud of my devotion? Like that he thinks. So then Lord speaks to him, don't worry, today I have accepted a nice person's offering. There is a potter named Kumara, okay, who is also offering to me every day flowers made out of mud. So go and meet him. So immediately Tondaman Chakravarti goes to that particular potter's home and then sees how nicely he is actually worshipping Lord with this devotion. So Lord is not attached to the gold. Lord is not attached to the earth, mud flowers or whatever. He is actually wanting the love and devotion from us. So today is also Akshaya Tritiya. Akshaya means unlimited, which does not deplete, right? It also means abundance, right? An abundance mentality, right? Not the abundance mentality which you read normally versus scarcity mentality which we read in Google. It's a different type of abundance mentality. So we all know about today also is the day when Akshay Patra vessel also came, right? The vessel of Akshay Patra vessel also came to the Pandavas. The Pandavas, who are the most successful individuals in the world has ever seen, okay? By way of Kala or whatever, they came into the forest. They become utterly impoverished. And Draupadi prays to Krishna, and Krishna directs the Pandavas to worship Surya, and then Surya gives them this kind of Akshay Patra vessel, which is, which has a kind of a mystical potency, wherein unlimited amount of food will come. So the Pandavas want to continue to their dharma of feeding the Brahmanas or anybody, whoever comes to them. So they were continuing to do that. So Duryodhana plays a trick. He sends Durvasa Muni to Pandavas at an appropriate time when they have finished their lunch. Unlike normal current day where there is no fixed time of eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, in those days people used to take properly timely food. So Pandavas have finished their timely lunch because Durvasa had asked for a boon and had asked Duryodhana for a boon, and then he accepted that boon. So Durvasa has delayed his lunch. He comes to the hermitage of Pandavas and asks to be fed. It's not just feeding one person. Durvasa has some 10,000 disciples. How do you cook 10,000 meals in such a short time? Okay? They were in anxiety. But Durvasa says, don't worry, I'll just go to the river, take bath along with my disciples, and then we'll come back. So how much time it takes to go for 10,000 people to go take bath and come back? Not more than half an hour, because it's river. It has lot of water, right? Not like our bathrooms, right? So it does not take much time. It's only half an hour. So now Draupadi was in full anxiety. How do I come out of this scarcity mentality? Right? There's only scarcity. There's no resources now. How do I come out? Simple. Pray to Govinda, Krishna. So she was intensely praying to Govinda and Krishna. Immediately Krishna arrived. Okay. So Krishna asked, why are you so worried? No, Durvasa Muni has come and with all his disciples, you have given Akshay Patra vessel, but we all have eaten, so now nothing more will come out of it. Oh, is it? Even I am also hungry. So there's no time for jokes, Krishna. So that now I am also hungry, you are saying, but where do I feed? No, just see in the vessel, there may be some small vegetable will be there, just give me that. No, nothing is there. He says, no, just go and see, something may be there. Then she goes and she sees some vegetable. And then that vegetable Krishna will take. As soon as Krishna takes that vegetable, what happened? To all the 10,000 people who have wanted to take nice feast, they felt totally satisfied. Yasmin tushte jagat tushta. So Krishna was fed one small vegetable with love and affection, and everybody was satisfied. So then they felt, if Pandavas may be arranging some very big meal, so better not go to them and disappoint them, let us go away. So they all went away. So this is the mentality of an abundance mentality, a mentality of depending on the unlimited. Unlimited can supply unlimited resources. This is actually being also not, I am not talking about the Vedic times which is not demonstrated. This is being demonstrated by our devotees for last 23 years. What is Akshay Patra? It's a loss making business. Every meal you are actually distributing, there is a net loss. Right? The cost, the money which the government gives is less than what is the cost of your production. So does loss-making businesses thrive for 23 years? No, they don't thrive. But how Akshay Patra was able to thrive? Does it have some billions of dollars as corpus? No. Every day people are going out and then collecting money. Okay? So no corpus, loss-making business. How it is thriving? How it is thriving? As our Chairman Madhupandi Prabhu says, Chairman is supposed to know everything, what's happening, right? In Akshay Patra, he says he also does not know how money comes. Money comes because we all think, he thinks that we are not actually cooking. It is Radharani who is actually providing, because she is a Supreme Mother. She can provide for everybody. So why we have to have anxiety? If a loss-making business without corpus can thrive for 20 years, 23 years, why not a profitable business? Why not a business which is having some wealth backing survive properly if everybody has abundance mentality? Right? So the real issue is that we don't have right abundance mentality of being depending on the unlimited. So with that I would like to conclude if anybody has any questions. Sorry? Yeah.
You said Krishna is the fully satisfied and he is also the satisfier of all living entities.
Yes.
So what word did you use for that? Jagat Trishta?
Yasmin tuste Jagat tushta. It's a statement from the Upanishads. Anybody has any other questions? Okay. So we'll conclude now. Sorry, somebody is asking. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you for providing the opportunity. So, when we refer that Yasmin Tushte Jagat Tushta, that when Lord is satisfied, everybody is satisfied, does that satisfaction actually mean a spiritual satisfaction or bodily satisfaction? Here, the disciples of Durvasa Muni just felt bodily satisfaction. So,
okay.
In general, we actually mean spiritual satisfaction, that when Lord is satisfied, He not individually satisfy each and every person. But does it mean Lord is selectively satisfying some people and is not satisfying others? Like, what is the usual perception is?
Okay. So when Lord is satisfied, not only the gross senses, even the subtle senses are also satisfied. Okay. In that particular pastime which we see, Durvasa Muni's pastime, it is more a pastime to demonstrate a principle that even the Durvasa Muni disciples are also feeling full. It's a pastime of the Lord. So now when we try to understand at our level, okay, we are trying to satisfy Krishna, okay, but sometimes we may not feel the satisfaction. Is that the question, to be more specific?
Yes, bro. We right? And others also.
We try to satisfy Krishna, but we don't feel that satisfaction. Why is it so? So we have been trained to think in a different way. Because now see in the case of Sudama Vipra, he is not having anything, but he was thoroughly spiritually situated. He is not chasing happiness or chasing distress, because he knows these things will come automatically. Okay, so now when we are talking about this satisfaction is something very, very close to our heart. So now, if in case our karma permits to get more resources, it will come automatically. If our karma does not permit to get more resources, so be it. So that is the kind of consciousness in which a person trains himself. That is at the devotee level. At the macroeconomic level, if you actually see, it is the leaders who are mismanaging the resources. Otherwise, the Lord's intention, whether you satisfy him or not, is to feed everybody, to maintain everybody. That is the Lord's intention. But it is the leaders who are mismanaging, and thus our satisfaction is being questioned. Okay? Okay, we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.